All right, what's going on, class? This is your professor, Dr. Jace Austin, and welcome to the fall 2019 iteration of 7314, which is your reference sources and services class. I always create mandatory videos to introduce myself to the course, and so that's what I'm doing now. And there will be additional mandatory videos and additional optional videos throughout the course of the semester. But this first one is always mandatory. One of the other ones that's going to be mandatory is I'm going to just walk through a few basics, very basics of creating a LibGuide. And then most of the others will be optional, but they will be videos that will enhance the course. So the reason that I do these videos is, again, to kind of get you all to get a sense of me as a person, to kind of break the ice a little bit, to also explain what's going to be going on in the course, and, to also just say a few other things that I think should be said in order to make our journey together as pleasant and as positive as possible. So, the first thing I want to do before I even introduce myself and tell you all who I am and what I do is I do want to tell you that I'm from the South and we Southerners talk slow, so it's okay to speed these videos up, and I'm going to show you all how to do that right now. So if you ever want to speed me up, I'm just going to use this as an example. We'll go to YouTube here. All right, and I do not own the rights to this music, but yeah, let's pick this
Braxton was diagnosed
one
with
here.
plexus carcinoma, a brain tumor.
Okay, and the way that you can speed a video up is to, when you're in YouTube, go to this little settings icon here and select playback speed, and you can speed it up. Usually you can speed me up to 1.5 and still not miss anything I say. And you see it's now sped. So you can actually go ahead and speed me up now if you want to. And from here, I am going to just, again, share some information with you all, explaining who I am, and then I'm going to give kind of a quick run through of the course, and I am also going to just say a few things, just some things that I want you all to be mindful of as you complete this course. Now, first, I want to say, again, the name is, people just call me Dr. Jason. It's fine for you all to call me that. I am a rather informal individual, pretty much. So, you can call me, if you feel more comfortable calling me Dr. Austin or anything like that, you can. But calling me Jace or Dr. Jace or Jason, I don't care. You can keep it informal because I am kind of an informal person. I originally hail from Soul City, North Carolina, which is a real place. You can look it up. If you Google it, you will see some information. That is where I'm from. And I hold a bachelor's in English from the University of North Carolina at Wilmington. I hold a master's degree in library science from North Carolina Central University. And I hold a PhD from the University of South Carolina in library and information science. I have worked in public libraries. I have worked in community college libraries, comprehensive teaching institution libraries, and I have worked in I lost track. Research libraries and comprehensive institution, comprehensive teaching institution libraries. I've done all of those things, and I currently work as both a professor for CISLT, which is mostly what I do, as well as I'm in a joint position, so I also give a good percentage of my time to working as a reference and instruction librarian for UMKC in Kansas City. I am actually stationed in Kansas City, not in Columbia. And because I have a joint nature of a job where I work as a professor and as a librarian, and I recruit, and I present and publish, and I try to do job placement and some other things for students in the greater Kansas City area, I stay very, very busy, and I get a lot of email traffic because I'm getting it from people that I research and present with, as well as people from UMKC, as well as people from Mizzou. I say all that to say that yes, because one thing I like to do is just kind of address some of the things that come up in some of my teaching evaluations. And one of the biggest knocks on me, and it's something that I don't have much control over, honestly, because of the nature of my job and because of all the things that this job requires of me. So yes, it does take me a little longer to get assignments graded and back to students than some of the other instructors. So that's something that will be kind of it'll probably be a little bit of a struggle, honestly, for some of you all. Sometimes it can take 3 or 4 weeks, I'm afraid, for me to get assignments graded and back. But because of all these responsibilities that this joint nature position has me going through, that's just the nature of the beast. And so I apologize for that in advance, but that's going to be the case. Now, believe it or not, I do still try to get things graded as quickly as possible. So even though it might seem to you like I am being kind of slack or being kind of slow, it's just a matter of I have to prioritize lesson planning and some other things and work grading in as I can. But it's something that I'm always continuously doing. Another thing that I am just going to say is, because this is something that comes up in my teaching evaluations a lot, and it's something that I just go ahead and address because I'm somebody who keeps it real. And so, I'm just going to put it out there and say, people who keep it real, this is the type of stuff that we say and do. So, I started here at CISLT in August of 2018, so I've been here a year now, but I spent 35 years in the Southeast, East Coast, Southeast, the Carolinas, and also Richmond, Virginia, lived there for 4 years. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to keep it real. When I was in the South, when I was in the South and I was doing instruction, because I was an adjunct for the University of South Carolina, people seemed to like my style. People seemed to like how I came across. Everything was good. My teaching evaluations, they were great. In the Midwest, not so much. And I am just going to come out and say that I do think that this is a regional and a cultural thing. And so we as librarians, we serve diverse communities. So this is something that I'm going to try to get you all to start training your minds to keep in mind as you go forward. I'll just be honest, at the risk of offending, I think that there is, and I think the demographics from the Census Bureau prove this. I think that throughout the states of Virginia and North and South Carolina, you do see more diversity in state than you do in some of the states that we are drawing our populations of students from: Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, and Nebraska. It just is what it is. So what has come off to people in the Carolinas and Virginia as my style being, real and a style that can be appreciated because it's honest. That was the type of feedback that I would get in South Carolina. People would say, oh, he's real, he's honest, he keeps it real with us, we love it, we love how he just brings it, and there's not a lot of fluff. And when I came to the Midwest, yes, things changed. My teaching evaluations here say, I have students say I'm aggressive, they say I'm abrasive, they say I'm defensive. A lot of negative things here in the Midwest, as opposed to positive things that were being said in South Carolina for the same individual. Now, this is not me trying to insult the Midwest. This is just me saying there are different styles. Northeasterners are different from Southerners, and Southerners are different from Midwesterners. And I would say that, I know I'm dating myself here, but if any of you remember the show that used to come on called In the Heat of the Night that took place in a southern town, the characters that you saw in that show are exactly the type of people that I am. That's just the kind of mold that I'm cut from. So, you know, all of these, and this is gonna happen with this class too. Somebody in this class is probably going to say, oh, he's abrasive, he's defensive, I feel uncomfortable, because that's what people have been saying in my teaching evaluation since I got here. And what I'm going to say is, I have, recognizing that I'm now in the Midwest, honestly, yes, I have toned down a few things. I do approach things a little differently, but I'm not going to switch my entire style up. And the reason for that is I am training you all, or I shouldn't say training, but I'm part of an effort to prepare you all to be librarians who may serve ever-growing diverse communities. So one thing that I'm going to say to keep it real, and this is just again me saying it how it is. I tell it like it is. For those of you who do think that I come off as abrasive and aggressive and defensive and all these other things that students say, I'm just going to be honest with you. When you, and if you don't believe me, start following librarians on social media, start reading ALA Think Tank. And when you get a chance, go to conferences and see these librarians who are coming from the Northeast and who are coming from the South and who are coming from the West Coast. When you start saying that, I guarantee you, there are personalities in this field that make me seem like Mr. Rogers. So you just gotta get ready, because this ain't nothing. For those of you who are, some of you might be looking at me now and saying, woo, this is kind of abrasive, I wasn't ready for this. Get ready, because I am actually one of the softest personalities that I run across when I go to conferences and when I communicate with other librarians on social media. So that is what it is. But having said that, I also want to say that just because my style might be a little more direct from what you are used to, again, we Southerners, we're politely direct, but we're still direct. And it might be a little different from what you're used to, but I want to assure every last one of you, I'm a very nice guy. I'm very approachable, because that's another thing people say about me in student evaluation, in teaching evaluations here at Mizzou, is they say I'm unapproachable. Well, I'm very approachable. I'm extremely approachable. And if you don't believe it, just try to approach me, and you might be surprised by how approachable I am if you actually attempt to approach and talk to me. And so this is what we've got to do. We've got to realize where we are and who we're dealing with, and in order to serve our patron population, yes, we do have to understand that there are people who come from backgrounds that are very different from our own backgrounds. And again, that includes me, because like I said a few minutes ago, I have changed. There's some things that I did my first semester that I thought were okay, and I've kind of phased some of those things out. Again, they were fine in South Carolina. People actually appreciated it, but here, those same things can come across, I guess, as unprofessional or casual or whatever the case may be. But that's the thing. In the South, we can be pretty casual. In the South, we will walk up to total strangers and have the fondest conversation with a total stranger on the street, and we will say it laid back, and that's just how we do. So I thought that it was actually better for me to realize that I'm dealing with a Midwestern audience, but to not completely change myself, because again, I'm preparing you all for a field where there are going to be a lot of people who, like I said, they make me seem like Mr. Rogers. So, just get ready for possibly a more direct style than what you're used to with Dr. Jace, but it's something that I assure you If you just get over your initial apprehensions and realize that even though I might be different regionally and culturally from you, that's okay. We are still speaking a like language of English, and we are going to be able to communicate and make this all work if we try, even if we are very different people. So I just wanted to put that out there. And with that said, now we are going to get into the course, because I'm hoping that as I show you all the course and what's going to be expected of you, I'm hoping that when you see all of this, it's going to break a little bit of anxiety, because I don't want you all to be worried. I want you all to be as stress-free as possible. And I think the way to accomplish that will be to walk you all through the course, so that after you see what's going to be expected of you, you're going to say, oh, hey, this isn't that bad, and now I'm ready to give it my all. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, so let's first take a look at this syllabus, and please note that things in the syllabus may be subject to change with notice. So I'm not going to change the syllabus and then not tell you. If there is a change to the syllabus, you will see it in an announcement section. And right now, you are not seeing the announcement section. Right now, you are seeing, when I say on the screen, you're seeing home, syllabus, assignments, blah, blah, blah. Now, there will be an announcements tab that you all are going into to see this video, because this video will be in the announcements, as will all of the videos. But you're not seeing it right now because there's no video and no other announcement in there, but it will be there soon, trust me. So this is fall 2019. Again, I am your instructor, Dr. Jace Austin, and if you want to reach me, email is definitely the best way to do it. So austinj@missouri.edu. I do have a 48 to 72 hour turnaround time usually, but of course I will try to get back to you sooner than that if at all possible. You can call me, but there's a good chance I might be out of the office. But my office number is 816-235-1875. The best way to set up an appointment with me will be to contact me and request one. However, I may start doing office hours, and if so, those will be noted on the syllabus. The syllabus will be updated, an announcement will come, and I will also probably email you to let you know. My office is on the campus of UMKC in the Miller Nichols Library. It's at room 122B. All right. So we've got a course overview here. Primary task within librarianship is locating information and making it available for people. So this class is going to consist largely of learning some of these different tools that people use to find information, what tools you can use to find what kinds of information, and then also we'll be doing a little bit of thinking and low-level philosophy on some of the issues concerning the information landscape. So especially with the Wikipedia assignment that's going to be part of this course, part of the reason that that assignment is even assigned is so that you can get just a little bit of a feel for people are looking at Wikipedia, but I want you all to get a good feel for the pros and cons to using Wikipedia as a source. By the way, when I say the pros and cons of using Wikipedia as a source, do not, I repeat, do not use Wikipedia as a credible source for any paper that you turn in for my class. Now, it can be cited, but if you're citing Wikipedia, you need to be citing it saying that something appeared in Wikipedia, but you do not cite Wikipedia as a credible and authoritative source. And if we do need to have a larger discussion as to why that is the case, I'm perfectly happy to have it. And in fact, there will be a video that will be recorded around the time of the Wikipedia assignment due date that will be explaining a few of the reasons why we don't use Wikipedia as an authoritative source. Okay? So we are going to introduce you to some basic reference sources and services found in libraries and information centers, and we're going to hopefully acquaint you with the history and philosophies of reference, resources, services, and management. All right, so I'm actually going to probably update these student learning outcomes, but just know that traditionally, I'm sorry guys. Traditionally, student learning outcomes associated with this class are students demonstrate the ability to prepare, advocate for, and deliver accurate and impartial information services, and students recognize the information needs of diverse user groups and communities, proactively address those needs, and advocate for improved services for underserved groups. So we have some assignments that go along with each of these. Students are able to use tools that communicate information effectively to the public. You will be creating a LibGuide, and I'll explain what a LibGuide is, and again, I'll explain some of the basics of how to create one, and you'll be given a LibApps account to use in this class later during the semester. So you'll have that assignment. The Wikipedia assignment is to, again, acquaint students and make students aware of the information-seeking habits of the masses and of the public. And it's also a way of showing that we as librarians can adapt our communication styles in order to meet the needs of the public. Students can use common online platforms to complete a thorough reference interview. This is something that I am working on currently, actually. So this was fine and dandy in the past, but what has happened is there used to be a resource that we would use called Question Point, and Question Point was useful because we could give our students logins to Question Point, and the students could then have sort of packaged reference interactions with their classmates. And this was a way for students to play both the information provider and the information seeker. However, Question Point is now gone. So I am trying to figure out how to fix this assignment so that it works with the limitations of not having Question Point. I have not gotten there yet, but I'm working on it, trust me, and once I get that assignment up and fixed, then I will upload it into the course and I will announce how it will be done. And then also there is a semester-long project that you can actually start working on now, and you can work on it throughout the semester. Students are able to use and evaluate reference materials and find the answers to factual questions. So you're going to use the semester-long project assignment in order to acquaint yourselves with how to use some of the various databases and information resources that Mizzou's library offers. And by the way, Mizzou has a fantastic library, so you should all take advantage of the librarians that are at your disposal at Mizzou, and you can use them remotely. So if some things pop up, for instance, I'm not going to spoon feed. That's just not how we do. That's not how we did in my, we had a very old school style of delivering course material at North Carolina Central, which is an HBCU. Fun fact, the only HBCU with an accredited library of science program. But we had an old school way of doing things where when I could not find something that I was required to read, my professors just said, well, then you got to figure out how to find it. And I know that that might be a little intimidating, but that's the style that I adapt here as well, because one thing that you all will be doing as librarians is you all will need to figure out how to find information that is not readily at your fingertips. So it's a discovery process in the librarian job day to day. And so we're going to make it a discovery process here. So let me just, again, keep it all the way real with you. If you are not prepared to try to look for articles that you need, then librarianship is not for you, because that's a huge part of this job. So again, that's me keeping it real. Hope it's not too real for you, but that's just what it is. So assignments that you will need to complete. First, the syllabus quiz. Please have that syllabus quiz completed by the 25th. Your reference interaction report, you'll need to have that completed by September 8th at 11:59 p.m. All of these are Central Time. And when you click the hyperlink to an assignment, you will be taken to a page that will explain what the assignment is to you. But basically, this is going to be a situation where you're going to ask a reference librarian a realistic question, and you are going to describe in pretty good detail, but no longer than 1,000 words, but in pretty good detail, you know, how that interaction went, what you got out of it. You're going to want to answer all of these questions. This reference interaction report does need to be written in essay form, not just in question and answer form. But you're going to answer all of those questions and turn something in that will answer and incorporate all of those questions, okay? And it's not too stressful an assignment. The database unassignment, we'll have that here, or maybe we won't. Let's see. Well, that's not good. So we'll come back to that. But this is basically just a 2-point assignment. You can see it in the discussion board right now, actually, and you can see what database has been assigned to you. But there is a database unassignment question, assignment, and within the unassignment assignment, what you're going to basically do is describe for your classmates the database that was assigned to you. And you will see in language in the discussion board, you will see where I tell you very explicitly, if you want to request to do another database, please feel free. Okay. All right. So the virtual reference practice and paper, that's the one that I told you I needed the question point access in order to get. So right now that one's actually not available to you. So there's no need to even click that link, but that is something that hopefully I'll be able to figure out something to use in lieu of question point that will allow you to complete that assignment. The Wikipedia edit assignment is an assignment. I think that this assignment is the most rewarding assignment as far as contributing to the greater good of society and all that kind of fluff stuff there. But the Wikipedia edit assignment, you're basically going to find a Wikipedia page of your choosing, and you are going to make edits to that Wikipedia page to improve that Wikipedia page. And I do want you to choose a topic that you are interested in for the Wikipedia edit assignment and for your LibGuide, by the way. I want you to choose something. I have some language in the prompts of those assignments just to protect myself so that you don't do anything silly. But it can be anything. It can be anything of interest to you, your hometown, a particular person, you know, a video game or some sport that you like to play or something. But you're going to do something in order to make that Wikipedia page a little bit better. Excuse me. And that is, again, you contributing to the greater good of society that goes beyond our class. All right. Also, we will have discussion prompts, 2 points each for 7 discussions. That will lead up to 14 points. And then we will have the LibGuide assignment. So the LibGuide assignment is here. And you can't start on, because I know you all, probably a lot of you like to work ahead. The LibGuide assignment you can't start yet because you don't have your LibApps logins, but you'll be getting those later in the semester, and I assure you, you'll still have enough time. You'll still have enough time to complete your LibGuide assignment after you get your LibApps login. But one thing that you can do, if you want to, you can go ahead right now and start Googling something like LibGuide's best practices or something of that nature. And that way you can get a feel for what is a good LibGuide, what is not a good LibGuide. You can see examples. There are thousands of LibGuides throughout the internet. You can see some examples of some good LibGuides. And then you're going to create your own on a subject that you are interested in. And the criteria for creating your own and the rubric upon which you will be judged, it is all here. All right. And then finally, the semester project, which again, I say you can get started on now. So, looks like I've got to tweak this. I apologize. This is actually not due on May the 9th. So let me tweak it really quick. Okay, so fun fact, there's always going to be something that you overlook to tweak in your online classes as you go from semester to semester, because I teach 7314 most semesters, and I have to update the course, and I missed a tweak, and so that happens. And now that is correct. So it is due on the 5th, but you can start working on it now. In fact, you should. Do not wait for the last week to start on this, folks, because it can take you about 40 hours to complete. And what I want you all to do is just kind of pace yourselves throughout the semester so that you are ready to turn it in without too much stress come December 5th or the week of December 5th. So the best way to make sure that you are not caught trying to stress yourself out the last week of school is to go ahead and start working on it now. Maybe you can do a couple questions per week, but again, it's going to take about 40 hours to complete. Some of you, it's not going to take that long if you already have reference experience or if you're just that good. But for a lot of you, it's going to take probably about 40 hours to complete. So you want to split that up and maybe do a few hours per week, answer a few questions per week, and save your progress. And you may even want to save your progress also in Google Docs or something like that. And that way you do not, because what I don't want to happen to any of you all, I don't want you all to get in a situation where you work so damn hard and then all of a sudden the file is gone because your computer is just up and gone because it got stolen or your computer just wigs out or whatever the case may be. I hate when bad stuff happens to my students. I'm very protective of my students. So yeah, try maybe Google Docs or Dropbox and saving it somewhere just so that you do not lose your file after you've been working on it all semester. Okay, just please be very careful and very mindful of that, because I don't want you all to be miserable, and the quickest way to be miserable is to lose something that you've been working on for weeks. So you'll see all the rubrics, and I will explain these various assignments more also as it gets closer to time. So let's look at some discussions now. Whoa. So a lot of you have already done your introductions, so that's great. If you have not, then yes, go ahead and do your introduction. Post some other things that are in. It's actually better to, I'm going to say this, it's actually better to email me than to use this as the this questions, comments and news portal or discussion prompt as a way to try to ask me questions. But if you want to ask both me and the class a question, then this is a good place to do it. You can ask questions here. If you're confused or concerned, put something here. And I'll be looking there as will your classmates. And whatever we need to do in order to address your question or concern, we can address it there, okay? There's also, I want you all to take advantage of this, please, please, please. I have a free-for-all forum for my students that you can talk about anything. You can talk about parties that you want to invite people to, or you can talk about sports or current events. Don't insult each other or do anything to hurt each other's feelings. Please don't do that. But you can use this for pretty much anything. And the reason that's there is because not everybody's going to tell you this, but, you know, I tell it like it is. The name of the game is networking and building a base. One of my favorite song lyrics is, "Don't tell me that the sky is the limit, because it ain't about what you can do. It's about who knows who in this American dream." And that's some real talk right there. So yeah, if you all don't get to know each other, then you're wasting a wonderful opportunity, because I'm dating myself. I was in library school from 2006 to 2008. So 2006 was nearly 15 years ago. I started library school nearly 15 years ago, y'all. But you want to know something? I'm still in contact with a lot of people I went to library school with, and I have collaborated on research projects and presentations with people I went to library school with, and they have asked me for job leads, and I've done the same. They've asked me for recommendations. I've done the same. The reason I say that is because you've got to tap your network. If you are not tapping your network, then you are going to have some struggles in this field. You got to know people. And one way to, well, let me not even say one way. You can't tap a network that you don't have. You have to build your network. Now, Dr. Jace is already in your network. So like I said, I'm protective of and I care deeply for my students. So you can ask me for letters of recommendation if you are a hard worker, which I know all of you are. But I want you all to get that link going with everyone else as well. So, you know, this student free-for-all, this is an opportunity for you all to engage one another, to invite each other. If some of y'all live in Columbia, why not put something up saying, hey, Columbia CISL students, let's get together and have some coffee and just talk about the class. Or if you live in St. Louis or Kansas City or Omaha or wherever you live. But get together, network, get to know each other, get to like each other, become friends, and help each other out throughout your careers. Because some of you are going to have between 30 and 50-year careers. I'm not joking. So, you know, what you should do in that case is start building your network and tap your network and make friends and let people know that you are somebody that they would want to work with. Because I have been on search committees. I've been on search committees for several different institutions at this point. I'm going to tell y'all something. It's a big deal when you can have a candidate come in and say, I want to work with that person right there. So put that in perspective. I have seen people who on paper had the best qualifications, but they had the personality of a damn donut. And so they got passed over for someone who had fewer qualifications, but they were somebody that we knew could learn the job. And in addition to being somebody that we knew could learn the job, they were people that we knew we would enjoy working with, because you have to spend a lot of time at work. So you want to create a work atmosphere that is enjoyable for as many parties involved as possible. Okay, so you know, make friends and just, you know, try to develop a rapport with each other. Y'all need this more than y'all realize at this point that you do. Trust Dr. Jace when he says that, because even though I might be direct and I might seem abrasive, everything that I do for you, I think I'm doing it for your own good. And when I give you that advice, I do so because I think it's for your own good, okay? All right, so yeah, so that's what the Free for All forum is for. And I'm probably going to also create over the course of the semester 1 or 2 optional discussion prompts where y'all can discuss your views on a particular thing with each other. And again, those will be optional. The mandatory discussion prompts are these ones that are numbered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the database discussion is the unassignment that I was talking about. So you will all see, like for instance, Julia has merchant and Bradley has IBIS, and so forth and so on. But if you don't see your name here, then let me know, because it's always possible. In fact, I do it all the time. People get overlooked accidentally, of course. I love you all. So when you get overlooked, it was an accident, but overlooking can happen. So if you don't have a database assigned to you, then let me know. But so these are your mandatory discussion prompts, and you do have to complete them all. And you do also have to introduce yourself to the class, okay? All right. Actually, I think I got off that syllabus a little quicker than I intended. But that means that we don't have to talk about again some of the things that we've already talked about. So, required readings and materials. You do have required readings in each of the modules, plus you do have this textbook that I want you all to have. And if you're going to work in public services, just honestly, if you plan to work in public services, you may want to keep that textbook. That textbook has a lot of really good, really helpful information in it. It's a very well done textbook. We are working with the 4th edition, but you won't be quizzed on the content. So I prefer for you to have the 4th edition. Honestly, I prefer for you to have the 4th edition because it's more current and there's more information in there. Some of the information in the 3rd edition is out of date. However, with that said, the 3rd edition is the one that you can get for pretty cheap online. So I know you guys are college students. I know you're strapped for cash. If you need to do the 3rd edition, go ahead and buy the 3rd edition. Also, if you live near or live with another person that's in this class or something of that nature, it is perfectly fine to share your textbook as long as you and whoever you're sharing it with are both able to access it when necessary. Okay, so technology requirements. You will be needing to use email and check email throughout the day. I mean, not throughout the day, throughout the week. Throughout the day is probably good, but definitely throughout the week. Word processing software, you're going to need that. Database searching, interactive courseware, which is Canvas. Students will be given, as I said, the logins for LibApps so that they can create LibGuides. I'm going to have to go in and create all of those for you all, and I'll do that closer to the time when your assignment is due, when your LibGuide assignment is due. Okay, so my grading scale. Please know that I do reserve the right to award plus or minuses to this grading scale, depending on how I feel you did. So you don't see pluses or minuses here. You just see 92 to 100A, 83 to 91B, 74 to 82C, and below that is an F. We don't do D's in grad school. Hopefully none of you were aspiring for a D because you can't get one. But having said that, I very rarely do minuses, but yeah, if I feel that somebody just barely did enough, like if I can tell, or if I have strong reason to believe that you did just barely enough to get a B, then I don't want you to have the same B, honestly, as somebody who struggled to get the B. You know what I'm saying? So if you slack off and still end up with a B, you might get a B minus, but I don't do minuses as much as I do pluses. So if you are, this is pretty wide. Someone who earns a 92, in my opinion, really shouldn't get the same A as someone who has a 100. So if you have, like, if you finish this course with like pretty much a 100 average, you're probably going to get an A plus instead of an A. But you know, having said that, I just reserve that right to do what I need to do as far as making sure that effort is rewarded, as well as making sure that clear lack of effort is not rewarded at the same level as somebody who did try to put in diligent work. Okay? Okay, so you'll have new readings, and what I say is a lecture here. I'm actually going to start calling these check-in videos, because another thing that's happened is people don't seem to like when I call these lectures, because they don't really enhance the course content. They stand on, I feel that the course content stands on its own. So these check-in videos that I make, I do feel that they enhance the course, but they don't supplement or enhance the actual content. They bring something new to the table, because you guys are not getting I have an MLS. Listen up when I say this. I have an MLS, which is a Master's of Library Science. You all are earning an MLIS, which is a Master's of Library and Information Science. So you have to do some information theory. So I am introducing some abstract information concepts and some things that you might not have thought about previously, because I want you all thinking a little out of the box about information. So that's just what that is. Okay? Really, if you get behind on the readings, a little bit behind, that's going to be okay. Okay? About your instructor's participation, I am reading all of your posts, but I am not responding to all of your posts in the discussion boards. But I'm going to respond to a lot of them. Now, I'm going to respond to every introduction post in the introduction section, because I really want to interact with who you describe that you are. If you do not hear from me when you email me within 48 to 72 hours, email me again, okay? There are going to be times when I might try to consolidate answers. So if I'm getting the same question emailed to me by a lot of people, then what I might do is answer that in the announcements section of the class, as opposed to sending you an individualized personal email. Late work policy, this is actually kind of, this is here for me to protect myself largely. So I'm not too strict on the late work, just to be honest with you. Again, I just need to protect myself, so that if somebody abuses that and is egregiously late, then I can handle that person the way that person needs to be handled. But for the most part, again, I am a very nice guy. And that's something that I think kind of gets lost with the content delivery system that we have here at campus. But I'm very nice and very approachable, and I'm human, and I understand things. So, of course, the classics you can get extensions for. For instance, deaths in the immediate family. Of course, you can get extensions. Illness, surgery, medical issues. Of course, you can get extensions. But like I said, Dr. Jace is a reasonable dude. So some things that people don't even think about, I will grant extensions for. If the due date is Sunday night and on Saturday your significant other breaks up with you, I'm human. I've been there. I have been dumped and been in a place about it. So I know what that's like. That is something that causes a lot of anxiety and depression. It's something that changes up your whole world when the person who meant more to you than anyone else in the world says, I don't want you anymore. I'll bring some tears to your eyes. I think Toni Braxton, was it Toni Braxton that said, Unbreak My Heart? Was she the one who sung that song? Might have been. I can't remember at the moment. But anyway, a broken heart is a big, big deal. So if an assignment is due Sunday and you get dumped on Saturday, please just email me and say, Dr. Jace, I need some extra time. I'm going to give it to you. Pets dying. That should be taken just as seriously, I think, as immediate family members dying. If you have a creature living with you that you interact with, and this creature has lived with you, this cat or this dog or this fish or whatever you have as a pet, rabbit, whatever you got. Let's say you've had it for 2 years, and most people have cats and dogs for like 10 years or more. But even if you had like this rabbit for 2 years and your rabbit dies, but the rabbit was, a live-in member of your family, and the rabbit dies on Saturday, and your assignment is due Sunday night, just tell me, Dr. Jace, my pet died. Can I just get a break? Dr. Jace is going to say yes, okay? So things of that nature, just let me know. Talk to me. People say I'm unapproachable. I'm not. That's something that I just don't know what to say except I'm not. And again, I just think it's a cultural and a regional thing, and that's something that we have to just kind of work with for the sake of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Understand that, yes, I may be culturally different from you, and I may have grown up in the poor, deep South, and we conduct ourselves a little different from the Midwestern nice sort of style. But at the end of the day, I'm nice. Southerners are nice. We're good people. All right. So that's the late work policy. That all late work will have a 10% deduction per day, up to 5 days, and then will not be accepted. A little more lenient than that if you explain your situation. But if I don't get an explanation, that's what you need to do. You need to show me some effort. If you don't give me an explanation, that's when we're going to run into problems. So the course calendar here, I'm actually not going to get into too deep. I'm just going to let you all read that, because we'll be doing that throughout the week. Throughout the semester, throughout the week. That would be a heck of a week. Okay, resources and policies. If you have technology issues, we have some really good help desk people here, folks. And when I say that, just believe me, I've worked at several different institutions of higher learning, and we've got some good guys and ladies at Mizzou. We really, really do. So when you have problems, reach out to those folks. They are underappreciated. They are fantastic at what they do, and I'm very glad that we have them. So reach out to the help desk folks when you have technology issues. Class etiquette. Have respect for one another. Have respect for me. I will have respect for you. And together we can get through this thing without attacking one another or making each other feel bad or making each other cry and all of that stuff. One thing about me is I actually tend to be kind of sensitive. I get very upset when people are saddened. If I see one of you do something to deliberately hurt your classmates' feelings, I'm going to get sad, and then I'm also going to get pissed off. So, just try to avoid that. There's a way to respectfully disagree, and I think most adults do handle that well. But unfortunately, in social media, I think social media has kind of cultivated a climate where we don't care who we upset with the way that we disagree with one another. And so you all are going to disagree with things that I say. You have to, because two people don't agree on everything. So you all are going to disagree with things that I say, which is fine, because I don't have all the right answers, and you guys are going to disagree with one another. And that's good. It's a very good thing, but it needs to be done appropriately. And if I see something that I think is inappropriate disagreement or personal attacks or anything like that, I'm going to call you on it. Definitely no name calling in my class. I do not put up with that. Okay. Students with disabilities. This is a big one. If you have some issue with a disability, please do not suffer in silence. Please reach out. The disabilities office, if you reach out to them, they will make accommodations with you. They will tell me what accommodations I will need to make with you. they will usually give you a letter, and if they give you that letter, then that letter is like your sword. So if you feel that I was insensitive to some sort of disability that you may have, then that letter, you do have to inform me. Once a letter is drafted, you do have to let me know. But once you let me know, I will be very mindful of what you put out there, because it's a big deal, folks. People sometimes want to take depression and anxiety and all these different things lightly, and those are big deals, folks. And that's another reason why I do what I do with these videos, is because I am trying to break the ice. I am trying to lessen some of the anxiety. And for the most part, I think that when I do these lecture statements and videos for my students, that they are a little less anxious than they were prior to reviewing the recording. I will be right back. All right, so we've got that. And then also, as far as academic integrity, copyright, FERPA, you can read those statements on your own, but I'll just keep it simple. Do not plagiarize, do not plagiarize other people's work. Do not violate copyright, and yeah, don't pass anything off as your own that is not your own, because that is a form of theft, folks. It is intellectual property theft. So, a few other things that bear mentioning. All right, so if you need a librarian's help, then you can link right into, you may want to actually go directly into the library homepage for the University of Missouri, but you can attempt to reach out to a librarian here as well. Some other things that I want you all to be mindful of are, I only accept assignments in APA format. So do not send me anything in MLA. Do not send me anything in Chicago or Turabian. I do APA here. We are a social science, in my opinion, even though we are interdisciplinary as a field. I approach LIS as a social science. So having said that, APA is our way to go. But I am still doing APA 6, okay? So APA 7 has just come out, and we are going by APA 6 for the time being, okay? So make sure to complete your assignments using proper APA style, and I'm actually going to upload something into the class, just because a common error that I see with APA is people not really knowing the capitalization rules. So I am going to upload something in the class later this week regarding APA classification rules. But using the Purdue OWL, and you can find the Purdue OWL by Googling Purdue OWL APA. If you do that, you will get, in fact, let's just do it. Why am I saying this when we can just do it? So if you go to Google, this style guide should be enough to help you all through the Purdue OWL APA. And you can go here, and this will give you a very comprehensive rundown of how to put your assignments in proper APA format. Now, I'm usually not concerned about cover pages, but as far as these other things, especially in-text citations and reference lists, those are mostly what I want to be focused on and make sure you all do appropriately, okay? Some other things that I would like to mention are, in addition to the little APA issue there, another thing that I just want to mention is just this basic concept of wellness and taking care of yourselves, because this is something that, again, I need you all to take care of yourselves. I care for you. hopefully you care for yourselves and hopefully you care for each other. But there's certain things that I'm not requiring because there's no way I can check these things, but there are things that I want you to do. If you have the time. If you have time, please exercise. If you live near the Columbia campus, you can use their exercise facilities. So I would like you all to exercise if possible. Another thing that I would like you to do if possible is to just take at least a few hours, bare minimum, a few hours out of your week to spoil yourselves just a little bit or pamper yourselves and just detach. I want there to be waking moments that you all have that are not dedicated to school and also are not dedicated to work. So that can look like a lot of different things for a lot of different people, and it really doesn't matter how it looks to you, just do it. So that can include if you just want to take a bubble bath or something for like 2 or 3 hours a week, or if you want to go to your favorite restaurant just for a few hours a week, but do something that allows you to detach from both school and work, because one of the things that we struggle with our students in this program are students who are burning out. So take that aspect of wellness into account as you can. Again, I know that not everyone's schedule really allows for that, but try your best. And as sappy as it sounds, also, I would say hugs are important. So, if you can get some consensual hugs, from significant others and from family or friends, and things like that, those are therapeutic things to engage yourselves in, okay? So, just account for that. Take some opportunities for that. I don't want you all to take this class too seriously. That's something that I just feel that we live in a day and age where people are really serious about everything. And I'm a 90s boy. I don't get into all of that. I think that there's some things that you don't have to be so serious about. If I wanted to be serious about everything related to my career, I'd be a doctor or a lawyer or something of that nature where lives are really in my hands. But this is a career field where you don't have to take yourself so seriously, so don't do it. And aside from that, that's really the rundown. Again, I just wanted to break the ice, so to speak, let you know who I am, let you know why I am the way I am, and let you know that it is okay to ask me questions, and it is okay to, just be, it's okay to be you in my class, for one thing. Everybody is somebody in the library. That was a quote from Bernice King, who is the daughter of the late Martin Luther King. She said, everybody is somebody in the library. And everybody is somebody in my classroom as well. So, we've got to do this. And if you feel uncomfortable, please don't, because there's no need to be. And that's what I just want to drive home more than anything. And hopefully this is preparation for some of y'all, because if I seem abrasive and aggressive and all these other things that people say, again, you just got to trust me. You ain't seen nothing. And when people start critiquing your research and blasting you on Twitter or at conferences or whatever goes on, you're going to see that, yeah, I really wasn't that bad. So that's what the future holds. But we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this class together. We're going to get through this program together. We're going to get through our careers together, because what we have is each other. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So with that said, that's my time. I've kept you for an hour. I'm out. Be easy.